Good morning. Welcome to Brandenburg News Network. I am Donna Brandenburg, and it's the 27th day of December 2023. Can you believe how fast this year went? I cannot. But anyhow, I'm going to bring on my esteemed guests here this morning. We're waiting for Bill to come on yet, but we'll carry on in spite of this. We endeavor to persevere. Morning, Karen. Morning, Ralph. How you guys doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm just trying to get everything up and running here. So I just dropped a Christmas present for everyone on my Telegram channel, which is at Brandenburg, the number 4 MI. Would you guys like to see it?
Sure.
Of course you would. Hold on a minute. I knew you wouldn't let me down on that one. Karen's laughing. So, oh no, I can't find my Telegram channel over here. Hang on a minute. Talk amongst yourselves a minute, and I will get it right up. Okay.
So, did you have a nice Christmas, Karen?
No, I didn't.
What happened?
I was just telling Donna about it a little bit, but you didn't hear that conversation. So, no, Thursday night it started. Mama Karen.
Thursday night it begins.
Thursday night begins the epic story of Karen's bad Christmas. Well, Karen is an aware dog mama, and I went into mama bear mode Thursday night because I knew something was wrong with one of my pups. And I was right. Friday it got worse and wasn't quite sure what was going on. I figured it was one of two things, but I was texting with my normal vet and ended up going to a new ER vet that I had heard about that started up a few months ago in Fruitport, because that's actually closer to me than the Grand Rapids one. I decided to give that one a shot, and I have a pleasant experience on board now with them. So if anybody ever needs an emergency vet in West Michigan, you can give them a try. The diagnosis, I think, was probably appropriate for the day, but I don't think they were spot on, and I don't know exactly what's going on. Can't get to my vet yet, but I've been texting with her. Gave her a break over Christmas because the dog's doing better, and we're playing it by ear, day by day, until I can get her in. But it meant that I was wanting to stay home and watch my dog and take care of my own needs too, because I wasn't feeling well on Christmas Day. But she's doing good today. Everything's good there. Still don't know what happened, so we still have a mystery to solve. But yeah, not the best Christmas. We were going to go see some loved ones on Christmas Day, but priorities.
Yeah, that's rough when you got health problems with pets too. That's pretty hard on you.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's like the worst, because they are always they're at our mercy. So pets and our livestock come before our own needs. I remember as a kid, I would get up, get dressed, and go out and take care of horses and animals before I'd get on the school bus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't eat first. You feed your animals first. You take care of the animals before you do anything, and then you come back and you get something to eat, which is kind of fun. That's kind of where the old farm breakfast used to come from. I don't know if you experienced that, but I did. So there. That's one of the things we do, is feed people on the weekends quite often. So you want to see my Christmas present to y'all?
Sure.
Okay. Ta-da! Epstein's flight list in its entirety. Da-da-da. Here we go. Unedited and confirmed. So here we go. Jeffrey Epstein. Let's see. Let's go to the top. I guess I better do this like one at a time.
So how secret? I have a question. How secret was this list really? I mean, because I felt like a lot of it was already known.
Well, I want you to check this out up here at the top, because I had downloaded this into a LibreOffice spreadsheet. Look at this. R2, R5, 1117, Q2, Q5, 1117. I think it's funny. Going to be a Q-tard here for just a minute.
5,000 flights, huh?
Yeah, we got all kinds of information.
5,000 passengers. This is a passenger manifest.
Yeah, it's passenger manifest on for Epstein Island. So we've got Jeffrey Epstein. There's a surprise for you, right? And Eva and Glenn Dubin. We've got Ghislaine Maxwell. There's a surprise. Not Matt Grippy, Alan Greenberg, Kathy Greenberg. They're all one.
How do you get anonymous female 1, male 3?
Yeah, that's probably their kids they're trafficking.
Yep.
So that's the only thing that makes any sense there is that, they're I don't know. Let's see, but we'll just look down here. We've got Chuck Schumey. I'm pretty sure that we can figure out who that is.
They didn't try very hard on that one, did they?
No. And we've got Deborah with a question mark. Deborah, it doesn't matter. Just somebody that we can take out there and sacrifice to Moloch or something. It is crazy. So yeah, 5,000 of them. So this is on my Telegram channel at Brandenburg #4 MI. So here we go. These are all of our. Well, so look at all passenger 1. Is that not just suspicious as heck? I think it is. So I want to know.
I don't know, because I don't know how private flights usually go. What do they need to put on a manifest? Is there a legal standard or?
For domestic flights, not anything, but for international flights, I don't know. One other thing that I find kind of interesting there, though, is that the flight numbers change quite frequently. When you see flights to the same destinations, or even sometimes with the same plane, if it's a small carrier or something like that, they keep the flight numbers the same. But in this case, they're like incrementing them by 1.
It's crazy, isn't it? So, yeah, what do we have here? We've got them going into West Palm, Teterboro, New Jersey, Columbus, Ohio. There's a lot of action happening in Columbus, Ohio. I'm going to tell you, when I was on the road, it was amazing how much is going on there.
I gotta say, I do get a pretty big kick out of all of the Ohio memes. I find it kind of hilarious because you look at some of the reactions from people outside the United States who have no idea where Ohio is, and it just confuses them. It's really funny.
So we got Ireland, Dublin, Ireland. That's interesting.
Huh.
And Waterford, Ireland.
I thought Dublin's airport was full up on landing slots.
I don't know. Geneva, Switzerland, man, they're all over the place. Dominican Republic. Well, we could spend a lot of time going through this because there's like 5,000 entries here. So this is one to pour over to see who is actually on there. And look at all of the question mark. Allison.
And how are they going from? What kind of plane was this? Because they're doing transatlantic flights too.
Yeah, that's the first thing jumped out at me was when you said they went to what Dublin, the first one you mentioned.
Yeah. What were the destinations around Dublin?
Let's see. You want me to go back?
Yeah, because without a stopover in, what is that? I think usually they stop over in Iceland for that. Without that would be
Turks and Caicos.
Okay, so we got France, Switzerland, Ireland, and then over to New Jersey.
I'm glad you guys are reading it out because my little eyes aren't going to see it on my little mobile device.
Dublin, Waterford, Island, and Paris.
Yeah, so we got New Jersey to Ireland to looks like Northern Ireland, I think. Text is pretty small on here. And then France, Switzerland, and then back to New Jersey again. Which means that they're doing transatlantic flights. What kind of plane was this? Because most small planes are not rated for that.
I don't think it's a small plane. Just saying. I can look it up if you would like.
Yeah, that'd be. I'd kind of like to see what kind of plane that is.
All right, so now another question is to be had. So if y'all want to see who was on the flight and all the question marks of who was on the flight, so we still don't know who's on the flight. We know some, but we don't know all. Hang on a minute. Let me see what I can do here.
Can you do a search for question mark and find out how many of those question marks there is?
Oh, that'd be interesting.
You know, the
Or the ones
Anons
that
are going
just-
to be all over this today, and they'll have all kinds of conclusions drawn by the end of the day.
Or the ones that just say male and female.
Yeah, male and female. It doesn't. It's a Boeing 727.
Okay.
So let's see. So that's a big plane.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see.
A lot of money to
Even-
fly that plane.
Even that, I'd have to check on that. I thought the 737 was the smallest one that could go on the Atlantic jetways.
All right, Ralph the nerd, check it out. Let's see what we've got here.
Got me curious now.
Mr. Smart Guy. Well, because, these are all these questions that we have to know. Absolutely have to know. All right, here we go. We've got, this is from 2011, so it's not current. No, 2021. So this is interesting. It's got a bunch of pictures of this one. New York Post, whether you like it or not. Don't like it.
Okay, no,
but
the 727 is the 3-engine one that was actually, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not terribly familiar with the large jets like that.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, guess what? Bill's joining us. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Yeah, howdy, y'all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Merry Christmas to everyone. This is just one of those Merry Christmas mornings. Let's see what happens. Ralph decided to be my motivational officer this morning and said, come on, get on. I'm like, okay, we'll get on this morning. And as usual, no real plan, but everybody's here. So
At the kitchen table.
At the kitchen table. Did everybody have a good Christmas? You already answered that, Karen. So
I'm going to tell everybody that my sad story again.
yeah, the dog story. So how about you, Bill? Did you have a good Christmas?
Oh yeah. Meeting up with family. We spent quite a few time. It's not over though. There's always another one coming up. So
Yeah, it's kind of odd between the holidays. You have these little things to go to and such and yeah. So I've got enough food here to feed an army. So if anybody wants to drop in, I'm gonna tell you what, we could all gain about 5 pounds here in about a couple hours. So there you go, because that's the way we do it, right?
Yep.
So,
yeah, cookies galore. I'll give away cookies to just about anybody at this point.
that's funny. So
Yeah. What manifest are we looking at here?
What's that?
So what manifest are we looking at here?
Okay, so this is all right. I just brought up the Jeffrey Epstein. Hang on a minute. Let me get this up here a minute. The 727 Lolita Express trafficking kids, and let's see. I published the list of his wonderful. There you go. His wonderful guests that were on the plane. A lot of question marks on there, though. There you go. So here's some pictures of it, the inside. There you go. That's the inside of the Lolita Child Trafficking Express.
Did you see that door, that armored door back there?
That one? Yeah, that's quite a door, isn't it?
That is quite a door.
Got to protect the pilot if somebody goes crazy, I guess. So that's what the inside of the plane looks like. At least the parts that they let us see. I never believe in any of that stuff. It's like they're not showing us everything. So
Yeah,
let me go.
Especially looking at the outside of that plane and looking at how it doesn't look like there's a tail or a rear engine.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Okay, here we go. So let me share this. So this is the Merry Christmas to everyone, the manifest. So this is the thing, we were watching all this stuff in the news lately, and the people getting everybody, I don't know, the news getting everybody hyped up over, watch out, they're gonna assassinate President Trump kind of nonsense, to which the next question should have been, what are they hiding? So the first thing I'm going to say is, okay, so this came out.
And when have they not tried to assassinate Trump?
What's that?
When have they not tried to assassinate Trump?
Right. And I was at 2 events at Mar-a-Lago, and I'm going to tell you what, something didn't pass the test for me. So I got this sneaking feeling somewhere deep in my psyche here that they've got him tucked away in Cheyenne Mountain or something safe. So I'm not buying anything, but that's okay. Anyhow, I'll show you some pictures in a few minutes, but you got to look at things. In fact, I can post another picture that will prove my point on this if anybody really cares to hear a Donna Brandenburg evaluation of weaponized BS and believing nothing except for what I see with my own eyes and can kind of decipher. Anyhow, so we've got all these flights. They're going all over the world, though. And you've got a lot of question marks here. Deborah with a question mark. You've got female 1. You've got female male passenger. They don't even have a name down for them.
They've got a known column there for whether or not they actually know who they were.
Isn't that crazy? Okay, let's look at the columns at the top here. Take you to the top. Okay, so arrival, flight number, unique ID, first name, last name, initials known, data source, flight log. Okay, so this person, don't even know. That doesn't matter. It's probably just a kid they're trafficking, all the not known ones, to these people, because they don't really care about anybody. They're people users. So I hope that in my heart of hearts that at some point in time that they can, repent, turn back to God. But I don't have much hope for these people, quite honestly. I think they've jumped the shark on the ability to turn themselves around. Sharon Reynolds, Patricia Kane, Cayne, Warren, whoever, Carve Duity. Let's see, we got Patricia Kane on there again. Sophie Biddle. I think we could pour through this. There's like 5,000 entries here. So besides,
well, look for Trump. We know he took a flight one time, not to the island, right?
Well, you know what? This is one of those things too, is that, see, here's a whole bunch of people that they don't even know who they are. That to me seems really odd.
Wait, Teal? There were 3 of them, I think, there with the last name of just Teal.
It's unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, I wonder if there's any other colors that flew on the plane.
It's odd.
Well, if I see a name twice on there, I'm like, congratulations, you survived.
Yeah. Allison, Sherry, and Salona. And then more passengers with no names. Ira Zickerman. There's Selena again. Andy, Mandy. Ralph, were you on that plane?
No.
David Rothman. Yeah, this is one of those things that would be really, really interesting to sort through here. I think this is going to require some male and female. Isn't that odd? That's odd, isn't it? And Alan Dershowitz is on there with them.
That's another one. Like, who is on the plane when there are unknowns on the plane?
So another thing that I'm finding interesting here is if you look at their unique ID for the ones that are just male or female, the pattern is different. See, if you look at most of the other ones, it's got the beginning and it's got the what looks like the tail number, the beginning and ending destination airports, and then it's got the flight number, and then the passenger number. Well, all of the male and female ones have got a flight number of 1075 instead of their actual flight number, and a passenger number that's far higher than any of the other passenger numbers.
Yeah, it's out of place, isn't it?
Yep.
Let's go back up here. Here we got one.
1075.
1075. 138. Huh. Good catch there, Ralphie. You got 340. 1075. So 1075 is
and the passenger numbers on those are just continually incrementing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like an absolute passenger number. Because see, it increments, it fills in with the ones that are passengers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that kind of thing. So that's an absolute passenger number count.
Very interesting. Paula Epstein. Have we heard that name before? I haven't heard that name before. Ants, 2 ants. This is weird. Look at 2 ants.
Unknown.
Unknown. 2 ants. So we've got 2 ants, but they're unknown. I hope.
And those ants were also 1 passenger. Passenger 3.
Ants, 2. That's right. Interesting.
I know my ants' names. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, nice. Baby, baby. Ew, this is getting creepy.
And really ants creepy. And illegible.
Ants. Yeah, illegible. Baby. Illegible. Joe. Gwendolyn Beck. She's been on there a couple of times. Oh, this is kind of, there's a weird name. Okay. DDR. I've never heard that one. All right. That Kane keeps come up again. That was a Patricia Kane. So this is the first time I've seen Jim Kane. Well, this is okay. So this one, these guys went to West Palm. Then we're over in St. Thomas, West Palm Beach, Florida.
You know what else I'm noticing about those unique IDs?
Is
that the beginning and ending airport codes are not right either.
Yeah, SAF, yeah. Huh. Fort Knox, Kentucky. To the top. That's crazy. Newark. Well, all I can say is from what I'm seeing out there with all this, the child trafficking that's going on, it is everywhere. It's like a virus. Dubin is on it again. I wonder who that is. Eva Dubin and Selena Dubin. That name keeps coming up a lot. And we just went through like 3 pages of this. Is that crazy?
Oh.
So, well, anyhow, it's on my Telegram channel. Go ahead and check it out, guys, and let's see what we find. So, thought that was kind of interesting at any rate.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go back to my Telegram channel in a minute and show you. I wanted to show you guys something. I think that sometimes people don't believe when I say, yeah, I was actually at a place.
I'm getting water, I'm not peeing. Just so you know.
What's that?
I said, I'm getting water, I'm not peeing, just so you know.
Oh, I wanted to show you guys something that I posted, which I thought was really, really interesting. So there was this is something that the news has been doing. Let's see, hang on a minute.
Up the ramp, not to the side, but continue straight forward.
There has been a lot of manipulation happening here. I'm going to go ahead and do this again because this is all part of your wonderful Republican Party that's on the brink of collapse right now. So this is funny because I published this video, and this is a gal named Genevieve Peters. And that's Captain Matthew next to her, and sometimes he gets called Gilligan. He's got a different last name. But they were at J6, and listen to what they're saying, because what happened is Fox News got a hold of this video. I was the first to publish this video. It's the original video. And because I have friends everywhere. It's amazing. So anyhow, I published this video. The next thing you know, it's on Fox News, and the clerk from Macomb County, Anthony Ferlini, gets on there and starts to defend Genevieve, who happens to work for him. And they took the audio off. So I just want to make sure everybody hears the audio here, because this is in fact what they're hiding from you on the news channels.
Up to the sides, up here. Go up the ramp, not to the sides, but continue straight forward. We have reached the Capitol. We are up to the stairs. We will fill the Capitol. All of you must be in the Capitol. Do not be afraid. Move forward. Move forward. They cannot arrest us all. They will not. And if they did, there is no better cause than to be arrested for freedom. There is no better cause than to be arrested for standing up for our president and our country. There is no better cause.
Now, my question on this, boys and girls, is why is it that we have, Gary Smith got called out, and some of the other people, Troy Smocks was the first arrest, never went in the Capitol. And these people were actually telling people to breach the Capitol. No investigation. And then what happens? Anthony or Tony Ferlini gets up there and says, no, there was no crime committed, with no audio. So I want to see if I can, in the barn Christmas morning. Let me see if I can find that video, because I posted it just for effect here. Let me see if I can. I'm going to run up my channel here a minute and see if I can. Let me see if I can go. Stop my screen. Hang on a minute. I'm going to see if I can pull that up, and I can show you what they put in the news, which was nonsense, because this is what they do to hide stuff. And that is in fact the truth. Hang on a minute. We're trying to upload it, because Telegram just quit on me. Interesting. That's okay. We're just going to keep going on this. Got to hide whatever we can. It's the way we do it here in Telegram land and everywhere else. So that's okay. We'll put it right here. We endeavor to persevere. We do not quit.
So there's nothing better to be arrested for than fighting for your freedom. Yeah, tell that to the people that are still there.
Yeah, how come she didn't get all I can say is Fed alert, Fed, please people be smarter than this. And so here is Mr. Ferlini.
What is happening here at the office today?
And so
her opinion.
All right, so let's put Mr. Ferlini up and play the what they put on the news. And I think this is kind of indicative of the Republican Party of the state of Michigan and the nonsense that they engage in. I don't believe one word of anything coming. In fact, they've got a meeting today. It's probably going to be a knockdown, drag out fight kind of nonsense that like it normally is. So here we go. Let's see.
What is happening here at the office today?
And you don't think that her opinions influence at all the interaction she has with people or what she may do inside of the Macomb County Clerk's office?
No. First off, we got people with varying opinions throughout the clerk's office and varying backgrounds and varying personal lives, but none of that influenced them in their job.
Ferlini says he was aware of Ms. Peters' statements and her trip to D.C. on January 6th and what she did there, but is clear to him.
Okay, there you go. Now watch, they took the video out so you can't hear what she's actually doing. So this is all on Fox News right there. This is how the media manipulates.
His knowledge, she has done absolutely nothing illegal, and according to him, is a good employee. Hillary Golston, Fox 2.
That's it. That was it. Nothing to see here, boys and girls. We're going to just gloss right over this. She's a good employee. And you know what? A good boss looks at an employee when they do something that it doesn't make sense, that they would question all of it, right? I mean, why isn't he going after the fact that, first of all, it's really easy to see this whole thing was a Fedsurrection, because the people that were arrested there, I'm not buying any of it. There's no way that they opened up 20,000-pound magnetic doors to just walk in there, grab your torches and pitchforks and your little MAGA flags and go inside there. Wasn't happening. They let them in. All right. There's no way, if anyone is a thinking, salient human being, there's no way that they just walked right in there without being encouraged, invited, doors open, come on in. Let's take a shopping stroll around the Capitol and just look at, it's ridiculous. And the ones that they did arrest, the ones that they did arrest, like Troy Smocks and such, who were never in the Capitol, none of this is making any sense. And all you gotta do, listen to Ivan Rakelin. He's got this thing drilled down to who was actually behind it. So now we got Genevieve Peters and Captain Matthew, or whatever his name is, out there telling everybody to go in. Doesn't this look a little bit like Ray Epps?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm sitting here going, she was directly encouraging people to breach, not just go to the Capitol.
Storm the Capitol is what she says.
She said she used the term breach. I'm wondering, could that constitute, maybe Bill can answer this question. Could that constitute an act of terrorism?
What is happening?
Well, the definition of terrorism is government by intimidation. So
okay.
I wouldn't call it terrorism. They've
Gotcha.
twisted the definition back in the Patriot Act to be able to persecute us as Americans. But
you're right.
Yeah,
that's why I asked you this question.
Purposely inviting people to do such, whether storm or breach, even though it is the people's house. I mean, they have a right to be there. They have a right to be in it, and they have a right to address their government. But the whole setup of it, and the fact that they isolated individual groups out. For instance, like Donna just mentioned, there were numerous groups who walked right in through the front doors. There were other groups who came in through a couple of different side doors of the Capitol building that were let in, not only by the Capitol Police but by all the other ground security officers there. But then they had other doors that were shut and locked that they wouldn't let people come through. And that's always been a big red flag to me, is what doors were those, and why were those ones not available to the people?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know it happened both ways. The whole Capitol wasn't open when they let people in. So whatever was closed behind those doors, obviously they wanted to make sure nobody could come through.
Well, and
they wanted the funnel.
All the phones were dead. And so it was actually pretty controlled the way that it came in, and nobody was crossing the ropes or anything like that. And I want to know what happened with all of the laptops that were taken too, but all the phones in DC were dead. Everybody that I know who was there said that the phones, or that I've talked to, said that all their phones were dead. So President Trump was telling everybody to go home, just go home. And he looked to me like he was trying to protect it. Well, the Capitol Police were opening the barriers or the barricades up for people to go in and encouraging them. And, you can see Ray Epps, you can see people like Genevieve Peters and Captain Matthew and such trying to tell people to go in. And I'm sorry, if there's, you don't, if you see bad behavior, no matter what their standing is, you have to call it out. And, as a public functionary, you have to call it out. And I'm not seeing that. So it's very concerning, the whole way around. But anyhow, I think that I've got more footage, guys. It's going to be fun. It's not just me that has it either, because a smart chicken puts it in so many different directions that somebody that wants to stifle the information will, in fact, probably never find it all. And the great thing is that when that does happen, it's like 100,000 little messages might pop up everywhere if they kick the beast too much, guys. Just saying, because there's more footage out there. Have you seen what Bobby Powell put out?
No.
Oh, that's interesting. He's got footage there too, and they've been trying to silence him on J6 too. But I just find this to be it's the whole thing is a setup. There was no two ways about it, and I think it had more to do with President Trump, the rightful president of the United States, having the actual electoral votes to put him in place. And of course, Pelosi and Schumer, they couldn't have that, so they had to create a diversion and keep him out of there, along with the Capitol Police and such. And of course, they shut the phones down so that the people that were there, all they had was directions, from within their environment that they're in. And the whole thing was nonsense. And you can see the police encouraging people to go in. If the police encourage, the Capitol Police and such encourage people to go in, they're the ones at fault. Same thing as I'm seeing in this video. Why were these people not investigated with people that didn't even make it into the Capitol? This makes no sense at all unless they're targeting individuals. And that seems to be happening all over the place. So I thought that was important to bring up. Would we like to see another?
At that point, how is it not entrapment?
It is entrapment. It's the same thing that they did in Michigan with the fake kidnapping of Whitmer. That was absolutely entrapment. And I do know that they cuffed two of the kids. I think they were 10 and 11 years old, of one of the guys that they entrapped into that. Now I'm gonna tell everybody here, you got to be real smart and not go into these situations, because I've got one guy that's called me a few times, and he's one of these grab your torches and pitchforks kind of guys from within the Republican Party, and I'm just like, he's kind of a nut job, right? And so I kind of stopped answering his calls because he's kind of there. I'm like going, there is a legal process for everything, people. We do not do this sort of thing. The law is on our side. That is actually what they want us to do. They would love for us to start some sort of a crazy armed conflict type thing. That's what they want. And because if they can get us separated so that we kill each other, they don't have to do it for us, because that's what they want to do. So the smartest thing is be prepared. You have the right to defend your own, but don't get stupid and go into a situation like this. Not now. We've got the law on our side right now. They want us to start killing each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal. If they can divide us to the point that we do our dirty work for them, they win. And you know what? Screw all the feds out there. They can go screw themselves, because we're smarter than that, and we do have the law on our side. There's ways of doing it. Pro se. I've got so many people that I know right now that are winning that way. It's amazing. But we just need to start removing them, and it's possible. It is absolutely possible. So I want to show you something else that's kind of cool.
I have another point I'd like to make, if I may.
Please.
On January 6th, I read not very long ago, it was this month, and I posted about it, a theory I hadn't really considered, that one of the intentions of creating, as you call it, a Fedsurrection, was that by making an enemy of the people and showing that they could not be trusted, what they effectively did was remove the public from the inauguration. And since we know the inauguration was falsified, and I proved some of those points by video and footage coverage, we know it was false. We know it wasn't done properly. It wasn't done in the time that it should, and et cetera, et cetera. They removed the public from that area. You had to be quite some distance away in order to see it, except for the media, which they controlled. So the inauguration itself is about 2.5 minutes of one set of footage. All the cameras around had all kinds of angles and all kinds of stuff going on that day until that time frame where they did the inauguration. And then it was a recording that all of the stations were playing. So by keeping the American public away, you had removed all of those witnesses. And so another point I'd like to make with this is that there are sometimes multiple factors involved, or intentions and purposes with an event or a concept. So they're like, why are they saying this or that about Trump, and why is Trump saying this or that about somebody else? It can often be more than one answer, and it can be complicated. So that's one of my lessons lately, is that some people are like the people coming over the border. Well, they want voters. I'm not buying that. That's not the only answer. And I don't think that's the biggest answer, because they don't need voters, really. And I think the American people are not going to allow for that. So I don't think that voters is why we have an immigration problem. I think there are many other reasons why we have an immigration problem.
Yeah, it's called cheaters in the office. It's called treasonous bastards that sit in the office of government is why we have an immigration process problem right now. So.
But what is the purpose of it? I think one of the purposes is that they want to create chaos and division and have people distracted by what's happening in their neighborhood and weakened by this force. I mean, look at what's happening in Europe. Look at what's happening in Ireland and England.
It's a military move, and this has been something that's been done over and over again. Is to flood. They did that in World War II when they flooded the south of France with refugees. And what it is it's an invasion, and they're some of them are complicit. I believe that a lot of them are not complicit. I believe that they're puppets, and that the coyotes that are using kids for certain are part of the global human trafficking part of it. But when you look at things like, say, Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, on par with, like, say, Somalia. And you look at how many Haitians are coming into the United States because the death rate, the mortality rate there is so high. Of course, somebody gives them a one-way ticket to the United States to get out of that nonsense down there, that violence. They're going to take it, whether their intentions are evil or not. People are in survival mode down there, and they're going to do whatever it takes to survive. And unfortunately, we're going to get the butt end of that problem here, both financially as well as crime and violence, because the people are used to living in survival. It's a totally different mindset. Mm-hmm. And we can't think that they necessarily think like us, because we have never had to live in a situation where we are picking up garbage to eat. I mean, I saw it in India. It's a totally different mindset when you are truly in survival. I think that in Haiti, the average is $3 a day that they live on. We can't even imagine that. I mean, you can't even get a cup of coffee anymore for $3, right?
And that's the average.
That's the average. Yeah, can you even imagine how horrific it is? And this is what they're bringing here. They're bringing that survival culture here, and I think that the implications are much, much more horrific than what we can imagine. And they have to have their supply of kids, because they're all a bunch of pedophiles. The ones that are sitting in the seats. I mean, look at the Epstein flight logs and look at what we know, and if you watch how many arrests of pedophiles that there are out there, it's shocking. Have you ever seen anybody that compiles a list across the United States? It is absolutely shocking how many people are involved in this. And it's the core of it. Okay, let's check this guy out, because I thought this was really interesting. I like the US debtclock.org. And it's been fun. They've been having a lot of fun with that lately. Listen to this breakdown, because I do think we're going to come to a complete failure of our currency at some point in time. There's got to be a crash. There always is. It's a cyclical thing, but where we're headed right now is something totally, totally different.
The money. Look at the background and tell me, can you see it? If you picked out that the M2 money supply is decreasing, while the USA Treasury dollars are increasing, you would be correct. What people don't notice is that we are legitimately in the middle of transitioning our currency over to the USA Treasury dollars. And the M2 money is the fiat currency. This is why Jerome Powell from the Federal Reserve is holding up the same exact pyramid that said we are the 0.1% because they are the M2 money. Changing over from a debt-based fiat currency system over to a credit-based U.S. Treasury system.
Paper currency never works. It always crashes. And we are just at the moment that we have the time to convert that to Treasury dollars.
With the current evaluation being for every 1,777 M2 fiat dollar, you're going to get $1 in the new USA Treasury dollar. But the thing is that people forget that we have done this before. Back in 1862, President Lincoln issued $450 million directly from the USA Treasuries. Okay, these debt-free, interest-free notes were known as the greenback currency. And on June 4th, 1963, President Kennedy signed Executive Order 11110, issuing $4.3 billion directly from the USA Treasury, bypassing the Federal Reserve Bank. These debt-free interest notes were known as silver certificates. It's funny how both these gentlemen were assassinated, right? Now, why in the world would we do that? And what led us up to this point? Well, we can certainly talk about the Titanic, right? But that's for another video. If you know, then you know. Well, we can thank our great late President Woodrow Wilson for helping create the Federal Reserve back in 1913. And from his statement, he knew he messed up. Because ever since the creation of the Federal Reserve, we have lost legitimately 99.7% of our whole entire purchase power. 1913, the Federal Reserve was created. 1929, the Great Depression. 1933, the gold year. 1944, the Bretton Woods Agreement to make the U.S. fiat dollar global reserve currency. Then we had 1971, where we abandoned the gold standard, and look at where we're at right now. And as the Federal Reserve continues to print more money, adding to the U.S. national debt, there are countries that are looking to abandon the U.S. dollar. With all that in mind, we are limited on what we could actually do to solve this problem because they keep on printing the money. And going to Treasury dollars is one of the only solutions that we have. It will actually flip the whole entire script and make them where they were the 1%. Upgrading the whole entire system so it could be more interoperable, more scalable, more secured, more transparent, and going to a new monetary system that is backed by commodities. You have to ask this question, are they federal and do they hold any reserves? Unfortunately, this currency right here would have to collapse. How do we know that we are in the middle of it?
Clearest indicators of when a fiat currency is going to decline and to collapse is when those who are holding its debt sell the debt and the government, central bank, has to print money to buy that debt in large size while that's going down. Those are the most important indicators. So that you can see it, again, I want to repeat, selling the debt so that there's a big supply-demand imbalance and the central bank having to come in there and buy the debt that no one else will buy in large quantity so that then there's a currency devaluation. You have those three things aligned, the currency devaluation going down at the same time as those other two things are happening. And that's been a classic. It's like a bank run. They come to the bank, there's not enough money in the bank, and so they have to make up the difference by the printing of money.
And Ray Dalio said the best. And how do you know that we're in the middle of this transition? Check this out. The U.S. federal tax revenue is decreasing.
Holding Dubai's first ever gold currency. We have made this from 24 karat pure gold, and each note weighs 0.1 grams, and each piece has a unique serial number on it.
We have countries that are legitimately creating their own gold currency, right? And we are going to be embarking embarking into the new world, whether you want to believe it or not. And again, nothing can stop what is coming. Everything is happening so quickly and so fast. And it's going to happen when we least expect it. This is why it's very important to know what you hold. Let's go.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yep. Yet
So-
another good argument for having some physical assets on hand.
And or skills. Your brain capital is worth more than anything, you know, and the world has gone through these types of adjustments before, many times before, when you're being controlled by a global power structure, which is an organized crime structure, which we are, that we know has been trading in children and human beings and drugs and weapons and all bad things just to separate themselves from us. We, the people, we have to change. And whatever it is that looks like is going to be worth it. And just even in the virtue and the honor and in our service and glory to God our Father. There is no, we have to lay ourselves aside and say there's a difference between right and wrong. And there's no commingling of those things. So the system is going to have to change, and we have to be brave enough to change with it and not be afraid and go forward and say, you know what, it's going to be different, but it's going to be okay. We have to do this. You don't just cavort in the belly of the beast with the beast himself. You have to slay the beast. And quite honestly,
don't look back and turn into a pillar of salt.
That's right. You keep going forward and you do what God wants us to do regardless, and he'll provide. You just have to keep your eyes on him. That's it.
I've got to jump off here. I've got some delivery guys coming up on my job site here. So,
all right. Well, thanks for being on today, Bill. Merry Christmas and thanks for jumping back on today. Oh, I want to talk about, before you leave, I want to talk about our meeting on January 27 at Center Shot in Mohr. We've got a U.S. taxpayers meeting, which is the Constitution Party. Bill is the chairman. I'm the vice chair, and we are going to be meeting there at Center Shot. And our speakers are Dara Leaf, Sheriff of Berry County, and Paul Urban from We the County. And we're going to be working on seeding all the counties across Michigan and going after, to preserve all the rights given by God, guaranteed by the Constitution. So there you go. So Bill's off. So, okay. So there you go. So I said it. Got it in. You guys want to see some other pictures? Because we're just throwing this out here. We're just discussing today.
Sure.
All right. So, hey, that was my last trip to Mar-a-Lago, which is kind of fun. You know, I work the whole time I'm there, so I don't even eat. So we went out. This is a few people from our Michigan team here, Danny Bartolotta, Arlena Veltine, and I call him David Angel. He's real nice, super nice people, and very committed to the United States and to God Almighty. And we went out for dinner afterwards, and it was really fun. Arlena made the reservations, and it was really fun, and we had a great time. And all I can say is that I hope that everyone can join us sometime, because this is one of those things that, you know what, every one of us should be able to do this. It just happens to be that we're in a position right now to try to influence the taking back to the United States. And so you go to events and such, and then what do you do after that? You go, hang on, let me see if I can get us there. After that, what do? You go back to the barn.
Looks like a good place to be.
Yeah, that's always a good place to be for me. You know, shoveling horse manure, the highest position in the whole world. Nobody complains because nobody wants the job. So, So what else is on you guys' mind?
I posted some stuff yesterday. I think I sent you a link to it. What was it? Michigan. Oh, the redistricting lines. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, they have ruled that was unconstitutional. and that's pretty significant, people. And that was on the
I hadn't
east side
seen
of the
that.
state. Yeah, very significant.
Donna had shared one article last week, I think it was, and I wanted to know more about it. I came across another article, so I went through that, copy pasted some portions into some postings, and talked about it a little bit. I thought it was pretty interesting. My first question was, what is the large scale effect of it? It's I want to say 13, maybe 11 districts that it affects. So it's not the whole of the state that's going to be redistricted, but I did hear, I don't know if it's Michigan, I think it's another state that's doing the same thing. And the basis of the argument is that the district lines were drawn with race in mind, which it should not be, or it should be balanced with all the other factors. And apparently the quote unquote experts that the government used to help them draw these lines were allegedly, according to the case, using race largely or to some large extent in their intention. And that caused a group of people to feel like the black voters were going to be disenfranchised. Like, you can't do that. That violates equal protection laws and so on. There's voter rights laws and such that they violated. So the court agreed and said, you've got to do it over. There is a deadline in January for some priorities. I guess they have to make some statements to the court about what they want to see. But the bigger question is, how fast can they do this? Because Nessel says, or Benson, I get mixed up between them because, you know, all the witches.
Benson, Nessel, Whitmer. What difference does it make, right? You're all communists. You're all Marxists. Who cares? You've seen one Marxist, you've seen them all.
She says it takes 4 months to redo the voter rolls. Oh, let's talk about the voter rolls then. So she's got to figure out, well, when your address suddenly goes from one district to another because the district lines are redrawn, then you can't vote under the old district anymore. She's got to make sure that you can vote in the district you're actually going to be represented by. As if, but I digress. So she says she needs 4 months to do that. And you can go at that from two different angles. You can say, well, how long does it take you to clean up the voter rolls to begin with on any other day? Number one. Number two, what if she doesn't get that job done in time?
Well, because that's what they're famous for, is running the clock out. And it's just like, what did she do? She did that. That's exactly what happened to me, is they ran the clock out and they did it without notification. And so, I mean, this could have all been righted, but no, that one was about keeping Donna Brandenburg off the ballot. This time it's going to be to deprive Americans of their voice and their vote.
Yeah.
You bet it is.
And so how large a scale issue can that be? Could this potentially affect the November election?
If we have one.
now you're talking like Karen the Riveter has been talking.
I don't think we're going to have one. I really don't. I think they've got this thing so screwed up. All I can say is I hope that there's some really good, brave men and women who are ready to suit up and decide to take these criminals out, because this is an invasion. It's an invasion and subversion of our nation. That's what's happened here. The people in the seats are absolutely in violation of their oath of office. They have created policies against the Constitution. They have stepped outside of the law. And I'm not talking one or two of them. I'm not talking Whitmer, Nessel, and Benson. Yeah, them, but also the entirety of the legislature.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of them should ever be able to hold office ever again.
Of course. if you've got more than one state, let's say Michigan has a major problem handling any election processes because a chunk of the state can't complete their election process because their voter rolls are not in order. Now Michigan basically then gets shut down. And if there's another one or two states or more that this happens in, because not everyone has district lines drawn in similar fashion to what we just did. But if they are, and they sue, and they have a problem right before an election, there's always elections going on, but if they have a problem before a presidential election, now you've got a countrywide issue. And I might start looking at the main states. Michigan's one of the top 5 contended presidential states.
And
they know Trump is, it's a key state. Good phrase. So they know that Trump is gaining ground here in Michigan like he is everywhere else in the country. So this situation doesn't surprise me. Now, it's also not a new issue. It's new for most of us to have heard of it, but they were talking about doing this lawsuit back in January when I was first looking for it. This organization that did the suit, they were talking about it back in January. So this is not new to them. But this is the progress of law, right? Timing is everything. And
they
is this
love
just
to
going
run
to
the
be
clock out.
Yeah, this is just one more piece of the puzzle when we're looking at the great big scene of election season 2024. This is just one more. How minor it is, I'm not sure. It's a small piece of news right now that I think could become a much larger issue for us in Michigan and perhaps the country.
Well, look at Michigan and the lack of being able to even audit. I think there's like 42 precincts that couldn't even be audited because they had compromised the integrity of their election materials. Byron Center is one of them, where I was absolutely denied having the materials on basis by our clerk, Peggy, who denied me my FOIA. And her answer is that they were told by the Board of Elections, which is Jonathan Brader, that they had to, turn over everything they had basically. And she said, we have nothing here. And I said, well, where did it go? She said, well, the county. I said, oh, we have the flash drive. And I'm like, well, what's on the flash drive? Well, nothing. And I'm like, then who wiped it? And then she's like, well, nobody wiped it. And I said, well, then there's something on it. And I'm like, did you wipe it? Did somebody else wipe it? She's like, no, didn't know how to answer. It was like a little kid with her hand in the cookie jar, right? And then she said, no, it's all at the county. And then that went to the state. And I'm like, well, isn't that like violation of 4 Michigan laws? They had to keep it for X amount of time. And I mean, we're keeping records in the townships for in the counties back to the 1800s. And why now all of a sudden are we trying to destroy election records and put it in the hands of the Board of Elections, Jonathan Brader, who sits as chairman of the board of ERIC?
And foreign countries.
And they admitted to it while I was in a meeting. They admitted to sending the rolls to the guy's name was Mark, to Bangladesh in order to have signature verification. And they had it there, and it's public record. They had it there, and they were comparing it to signatures that they already had. So this means this has been going on for a long time. This wasn't just the last election cycle. They had them from before, and they were sending it. That's foreign interference in our election. And furthermore, we're not even supposed to have the state involved in our elections. So what do? We hand it over to the state to run our elections? Are you kidding me? Of course they're going to have the people that are sitting in the theft club with them.
Anytime you centralize power, it makes it much more easy to compromise.
They're hired help. Okay, that's what they are. That's all they are, is hired help. All of Lansing, and they're failing badly.
So there's just on the subject of redistricting too, I think a lot of people don't even really understand how incredibly easy it is to rig redistricting processes and make them externally look absolutely fair. There's a really good video that I saw on that a while back from a channel called Alpha Phoenix called Algorithmic Redistricting, Elections Made to Order. And if I remember correctly, I think he used simulated annealing to basically do like a random distribution and then very slightly skew each of the districts to get an outcome that he wanted. And it's a really interesting video, and just it doesn't take a whole lot more knowledge than just basic statistics information to understand how this works. And especially with, how you could do all of this by hand without computers even. And it's not hard to do, and it's really hard to catch. So anytime I see any of the redistricting stuff, it raises some red flags in my mind, because of course you're going to have to, as the population moves around, you're going to have to adjust things to have proportional representation, but it's really easy to skew, and it's within the realm of possibility of anyone now to do it.
Let me pull this up a minute. Okay, so we've got of course the this is the Youthful Brain advertisement.
Dementia is now known as type 3 diabetes.
Okay, so here we're going to skip it and I'll bring it up. Hang on a minute. Let me do what's happening here. Is that it, Ralph?
So
Yep,
I am
that looks like
between workshops and homes right now. So today I have a computational project for you that doesn't require the workshop. This map behind me right now is slowly rearranging itself according to a program that I wrote that uses a statistical technique called a Markov chain Monte Carlo simulated anneal. So you can see it's about to get real fuzzy. There we go. Now it's going to get a little bit better. I'll explain what all is going on here in a minute. But basically, this map is being gerrymandered. If you've ever heard of gerrymandering, it's the process of redrawing the maps that members of Congress are elected to represent in order to heavily favor one party or the other. As you could imagine, this frequently leads to some really wacky shaped districts. This is a proposed redistricting of the state of North Carolina from a few years ago. It was actually eventually thrown out by the courts, but it would have given a very slightly red state a 10-3 Republican majority in federal congressional seats. You can tell that it's gerrymandered because it's got these weirdo districts all over it, like this and this and this. Nothing like my map, which produces an 11-2 majority with really normal looking districts. On top of everything else, politicians are actually really bad at gerrymandering. Okay, so right off the bat, I need to start and say that this is the first video that I've ever made that even approaches the topic of politics. So I need everybody to behave in the comments. That said, the implications of using an algorithm like this are very interesting and making me very hesitant to just go, drop my source code on GitHub. But the algorithm that allows this program to work is actually fascinating, and it's this really cool dependent on random numbers thing that I love it. And that's what I want to talk to you today about. Not the process and politics of gerrymandering, but how we can draw these maps so efficiently. I've made a bunch of videos about randomness, being able to generate random numbers, using random numbers to calculate mathematical constants, using random numbers to form really ornate symmetric patterns. But today, I'm going to be drawing maps with random numbers. But those maps are not going to be random. You just need random numbers in order to make this algorithm work. I can actually just turn that coefficient to 0. We can see what happens to this process when no random numbers are chosen. Nothing happens. The program literally grinds to a halt after a handful of iterations. Weird, huh? The core algorithm itself isn't overly complex, but it all starts with an accurate map. Probably because they don't really just want everybody doing this. It's actually quite a pain to produce an accurate map of a state with voting precinct data and population accurately represented geographically. I found this site called Open Precincts that not only has election results by precinct, but critically precinct maps across a state as relatively easily downloadable files. And that is surprisingly difficult to locate. But even the data they were able to collect is apparently sometimes lacking, like these counties where only majority votes appear to be counted. But their data for the 2018 state Senate election in North Carolina appears to be complete. So that is the data set that I used to figure out where all the voters were. But voting districts, I mean, in an ideal world, don't represent voters. They represent people. So for actual population information, I pulled US Census data and combined these maps in that way. No, that's not quite right. I guess you can smash part of a round globe onto a flat screen in different ways. So first, I had to reproject both maps into the same coordinate system, and then you can fuse them together. And now we have a complete picture of where people, red votes and blue votes, live in the state of North Carolina. There are a few discrepancies where these maps disagree, like how the mortar range at Fort Bragg has nobody living in it. Shocking. But it is within a voting precinct. So technically, according to the map that I assembled, it's just a big field full of craters with ballots sitting in them, but no people. The open ocean is actually the same way, but in both cases, it's not enough people that I'm going to bother to rewrite my map maker, because I've already spent a long time literally just on the map.
So this is like real complicated, but looks like a very interesting video on how they do it. It's like anything though, a good statistician can make the number say whatever you want it to say. And so it doesn't, they're never, there is absolute, but they don't use it that way.
Yeah, and the great thing is with the technique he describes, I'm sure it's been used because simulated annealing has been around for like, boy, I think that started in the early 1800s, maybe late 1700s as kind of an algorithmic system for generating answers that are close to what you want. So I mean, it's the technique's been around forever. It's just now we have computational power to be able to do this, you know, where a single person can figure out how to skew that using a very simple algorithm just based on publicly available information, and still make it look absolutely fair by every metric that you could think of, and still have it be completely skewed.
Unless we do hand counting, we are done, because I don't know if either one of you saw the interview I did with Clinton Curtis, but he was asked to write a program to flip votes, 4951. And he went in and he said, well, this is what you look for. They said, well, we don't want to know what to look for. We want to know how to do it. And he was absolutely shocked. And he testified in front of Congress that he wrote a program to flip votes 4951 under the auspices that it was to show them how not to cheat. But they took it and he said they were using it to cheat. And this is the people that are sitting in the seats. This should be incredibly concerning to all of us. We have to go back to paper ballots, same day voting. I'm not for the absentee voting. I mean, this is something we all need to take seriously. If we want our country back, we need to stop with this. Well, you know, I'm busy. I got something to do today. Really? If I hear that voice out of anyone, guess what? You're part of the problem. You are the problem. We need to have a day set aside to vote, to make sure everyone that wants to vote can vote, and make it a priority to run the nation, not have a million different excuses of, well, you know, I'm going to be in Florida for this month or something like this. Maybe we should really make, you know, check ourselves a little bit on what's important to us.
On the other hand, you get people like that if they're not making any kind of effort to vote. Would rather that they didn't vote because they're not going to vote on any kind of base knowledge of what they're voting for.
Yeah, they're going to be
Or
they're
who.
going to be the ones that look at a voter guide and say, well, the National Seal Club wants us to vote for these candidates, or whatever it is. I mean, the Save the Zebra Muscle Club or whatever. I mean, we're supposed to be the Shrimp on a Treadmill Club, the Republican Party cult, the Democrat Party cult. We're going to
I don't know. I'm going to have to look into this National Seal Club thing because seals are cool.
Save the Dracaena polymorpha. I still remember from college.
Yeah,
my professor would be very, very, very proud of me.
That's good. We're going to go to the Planaria Club and we're going to see what they want us to vote for to save all the planaria on the planet. All right. So
have you ever seen the channel of the seal rescue in Namibia?
Oh,
that's a great channel.
Namibia.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. All right. So I'm pulling this up because this is just fun to watch. Yeah, so you can watch this stuff all day long when you wanna, just burn some time. It's pretty wholesome.
Ocean conservation in Namibia.
The eyes of the angels.
Yeah, okay, so let's see, we've got 7 seal rescues in 2 minutes. All right. I don't know how this is gonna turn out, but we're gonna give it a shot here. Let's see, here we go. It's probably going to have like some prostate medicine trailer. Oh, let's see. Went from XL to S. Let's see what happens here. All right. So let's go to the seal rescue.
It was so warm. Oh, no. No, don't make it.
Tackle.
Maybe not.
Don't want to get bit.
Thanks, Wally. All right, stop here. Just 2 days behind. Should we push now? Yeah, on the reach. Maybe not.
What are they doing?
Behind. Another one.
They have laws against this in America for birds.
Well, no. See, the seals that they're catching, they're I think Cape Fur seals, and they get caught in a lot of the like fishing nets and stuff because they do a lot of fishing off that coast. So what they do is they go through and catch these seals, and then they basically cut the junk off of them so that it isn't strangling them.
I thought they were just randomly chasing seals around.
Well, that would be fun, but no, they're see, they get like nets and plastic and all kinds
seals
of stuff.
Are trying to rescue them.
That's why are they chasing the seals? Okay, now I see.
See, and then they catalog what kind of junk they get tangled up in too, and then they can figure out how better to protect them.
You're right. Let's go. Perfect. Very good.
The video is kind of jumpy here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Donna, but all we see is somebody's hand.
Yeah, the video keeps just kind of pausing.
Baby there.
Sounds very exciting.
I like the seal noises.
Yeah, they got all kinds of special like scissors and stuff to be able to get in there and cut stuff off of them without hurting them.
So it's like, let's see if they'll play again. I think he's got to get caught up with like. Well, anyhow, that's what seal rescue is all about: cutting the ropes out and the plastic off their neck, which I think is just really amazing. See if I can get this thing to play again. We're gonna go through all of our seal rescues in 7 minutes.
I used to do wildlife rehab, and I wasn't involved in the rescue, but there was a barred owl that had fishing line wrapped around its wing. and we had to amputate the wing to save the life of a bird, and it almost died after the surgery. I was there for the whole thing. And it did survive, and it was going to be kept and used for educational programs where we could talk about stuff like that. Hey, when you lose some fishing line, don't just cut it. Don't just throw it away in the woods or the river. Take it back out with you.
Splitting out from you. Cut one side of it.
Can you imagine how painful that is for those seals? I wonder how many times they've gotten bit by one.
Really cutting right in, huh?
Aw, poor little guy.
You can remove the net. It's quite
Okay, I'm just going to cut. Pull one of those out.
Oh.
Merry Christmas. Watch the seal rescue. How cool is that?
I think we have to give him a good check. Yeah. I think we need to take him.
That would be such a rewarding thing to do.
I think there's a cut on the have a look.
That work I did in wildlife rehab was one of my favorite jobs. I did educational programs as well as help the animals. And animals don't always thank you. Sometimes they don't want to live. Sometimes they do, and they are off, and you never see them again, and they don't thank you on the way out. But it was still a very rewarding thing to do.
Oh, seals have got such a goofy looking run. I love watching those.
All right, let's see what this guy's got going on. Seals are funny.
Hey, lucky.
All right, let's see his face coming out. Not too hostile.
Yeah, it's like the other thing, no? Yeah, no, definitely got.
Their nets look like witches' hats, like a Harry Potter hat. That's what I think of.
You gotta get their noses in there so they don't bite you.
Our side's very bad, huh?
I think there's two cats somewhere, no?
Veggie bags.
Oh man, look at these guys are doing great work. Look at this. Aw.
Yeah, this is the tide that was moving every
I
time.
bet they heal remarkably
Better spray
well,
it with
though.
some Vetricin, guys. Yeah.
Well, they're going right back into the ocean, so probably anything they spray them with is just going to wash right off. But they have said that they heal up pretty good.
It's only getting warm, huh?
They're really thick.
They get the salt
So
water.
it's
That's
like-
probably got to help them a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, now they've increased it. They've got zippers now.
I don't know. There's just too much going on. Plastic. Yeah, you're fine.
All right, don't bite him, little guy.
All your friends waiting for you.
Go back to your buddies.
Sitting on your net trying to help you. Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
They look a little tired.
Yeah, that's just chaos ensued, huh? So it started with the black strap and this rubber. I'm not actually sure. Tony, what do you think that rubber is? Then the very, very old worn-out trawler net. Thin line, super thin line. This blue line, which I think comes from a veggie bag again. Snook line with a big hook.
I love these guys.
And
it's cool.
Last.
All right, even though I love these guys and I like watching them, rescue seals, I still would not vote the way you told me to vote. The SEAL Club telling us how to vote for politics. Nope, I'm not going to do it. Koala Club. Nope, I wouldn't vote with the Koala Club, or any of the political clubs or any of them. Actually.
World
get in there and
Wildlife
check it out
Fund?
for yourself. The what?
The World Wildlife Fund.
Yeah, I wouldn't be voting with them at all. Oh man, check this guy out.
You ever see the memes with the World Wildlife Fund panda logo where they modified it holding a chair and kind of did like a parody on the World Wrestling Federation?
No.
No, don't. I try to stay away from those panda things because those panda things are not like a good thing. Hang on a second. This is kind of funny, except for they've
It's kind
got
of funny because
okay.
it was making fun of it.
All right, so hang on a minute. This is like a preparedness thing. I'm gonna see if I can play this to get past the ads here. Oh my gosh! Let's panic. Let's be panicky here. That's what we got to do. Make everybody afraid. Hang on a minute. Okay, here we go. We got another seal video.
And we each saw one target. Denzel is going for.
Merry Christmas. I dropped the Epstein flight list, and now we're looking at seal rescue.
Flashy green net around his neck.
I love these guys' accent.
Denzel's target is very accessible, but mine is quite deep. I'm gonna have to take chances there. Not sure how we're going to do it, but we're trying to approach as close as we can. And yeah, hopefully we're gonna net them both.
Sneaking up on seals. What a riot. Oh, there we go. We're out of here. The chase is on. Except that guy. They're crawling on their hands and knees. You get this? All right, now after seals, complete panic ensues. Run, Fred, run.
It's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one.
That looks like he's going to be an ornery little guy when
Ammo.
he gets caught.
All right, we're here to help. And we're not the government. Oh, let's catch a baby seal. A minute.
It's okay. It's okay. Very good. Very good. Come on, puppy. You're gonna go inside. There you go. Go, 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 go. Hey, perfect.
To scan the surroundings. Yeah. You're catching your breath.
You can remove him from the net, actually.
I love these guys.
Hello, puppy. What are you doing with your hood there?
Aw,
You need to take that.
what a cutie.
That's a
Nope,
little
don't
one.
run. I'm helping you. Yeah. He's cute. Get the flippers out of the way.
He's not trolling it. The beach.
Aw,
Beach net or
what a
something.
cutie.
All right, puppy. You can go.
Go find your friends.
Yeah, we're gonna leave this here. I will pick it up later because there's so many small pieces that I want to pick up. What is it? I say it's given it. Ah, shoot. Yeah, and he's agitated. All right. It's in the mouth. I couldn't see it in the mouth. Should be. Okay, let's try to cut whatever we can from here and assess. Yeah, it is good. Oh!
Okay, don't bite him, guy.
Brand new gillnet. Someone is using some illegal fishing gear. Oh!
At least, like, if you're standing on an alligator, you've got limbs to hang on to. You know, like, it's flat-backed and they're kind of squirmy looking.
All right, what do we
This is
have?
more like riding a savage horse. All right.
How many? Strands is down there.
Be nice to your rescuer, Seal. You got yourself in this trouble.
Oh, man. She's very strong.
Starting tomorrow, this
Okay,
odd rice hat
here we
can
go.
change your
Gotta
life.
do.
Change your life.
Gotta do the ads here.
Pounds week after week. The reason your belly gets big.
The reason why your belly gets big is why. You didn't put your feet in the rice. That's crazy.
Wow, almost 18 minutes long. That's got to be one heck of a complicated thing.
Strand by strand.
All right, so now we're hooked. We got to watch this, right? It's better than the Republican meeting that's going to be going on supposedly today to get rid of Christina Caramo.
Yeah, no, but
I'd rather watch Seal Rescue. There's actually some good that can come out of this.
And at least the growling and noises like this are coming from animals.
Hey, at least you know they're honest.
Yeah, the Seal's honest. The MIGOP is not.
Somebody gets bit. It's completely expected.
Yeah.
Is it? No, that's what she's busy doing. Okay, wait. I'm going to try. Oh, damn, I cannot cut. I need both my hands to secure.
You want to get the...
Yeah, they got to get it all off of her too. She's gonna die.
I think we're gonna need tools because my feeling is that it must be around her head as well. So, just gonna cut whatever I can.
Johnny?
Yes.
Take it a bit lower, yeah.
Deeper, you mean? Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna use the hook.
Let's see who sticks with us to the end of this video here.
It's incredible. She's not going wrong.
Hey, I've sat through enough Republican nonsense and Democrat nonsense. We can sit through Seal Rescue.
She's not even a fully grown one.
You ever see those big monk seals? I actually saw one in life in Hawaii, real life. Those things are huge.
Okay, I cut what? Okay, bro, we're going.
I like seeing the
Like
ringed
bigger than a
seals.
manatee. What's
No, I'm
that?
gonna cut, so
I
we
like
can
seeing
go
the
down.
ringed seals. They're hilarious. Big old blobs of an animal.
They look like bigger than a manatee.
Illegal fishing net.
Start chucking fish in her mouth. You got to bribe him once in a while.
Better.
Okay, so what are we gonna do?
Can-
Got to rest. I can't believe
they
they're
gonna
doing it with
ratchet
bare
strap?
feet.
Are they going to ratchet strap the seal?
The moment is it? Where did you find this net anyway? You know it's illegal? Do you know it's illegal?
I'm sure the seal is listening to them right now.
It's like, keep breathing here.
From what side?
From the other side. We take off the net and we catch her again. Because we need to see if there's anything going through the mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. My feeling is that there is. I mean, she must have plowed through the net, the gill net.
It's too bad they don't have something to sedate her with just a minute.
Not seeing it. You alright? Oh, seal poo. It's supposed to.
I bet that smells great.
Wait, chance.
Wait, what?
Chance. Good luck.
Good luck. Don't get bit.
Tell me to stop. Okay. She's strong. She's very strong. Huh? I need to check if there's deeper ones.
Where's your finger, dude?
No, there's no deeper ones, but there's in front there are.
Yeah, so I think we
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. If it doesn't work, I will get the rope. Damn, there's so much, man. But we cannot work like that. Oh, you're really not helping now. Wait.
Put her in a coma.
He's gonna go that way. Honey, come on. Help me. Foot on that.
Oh my.
Whoa!
Looks like a lion now.
Yeah. She's going after him. Right? She's like, oh man, this is a bad day.
I'm sorry we found you when we only need the two of us. It takes a lot longer. Right here.
Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Try to cut whatever you can from here with the tool on my back.
Maybe she figured out though that they're trying to help a little bit. It's just frightening, but
Yeah, why is it that when something's here to rescue people or animals that they react with fear?
because they're in a
Seal's a
fight or flight
Democrat.
mode.
Yeah, that the seal has got Trump derangement syndrome. It's got net derangement syndrome. You know, rescuers are there to help the seal, and it goes right into derangement syndrome.
Other side.
Too bad they don't have like 2 ways to zip it out. Oh,
They do.
They do. They do. It's a new and improved seal net. I haven't seen that kind before.
Yeah, I think when they started,
I've never seen a steel net.
I think when they started, they only had like one of those, and it really made it difficult for them.
Yeah. Oh, you got to watch these things like animal rescues. They're amazing. It restores your faith in humanity.
Shoot, there's a jackal.
Oh, now they got a jackal out there. They got a coyote out there trying to eat the seal. All right, seal
I've caught
cooperate.
owls and great blue herons. I caught a raccoon, albino raccoon.
Oh, that's cool.
Letting them go is kind of cool, but catching them is a little bit more exciting.
Ready?
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh man, don't bite them.
Oh,
damn.
Ah, she's finally getting it figured out. I think she's getting it figured out.
Oh, don't bite me. Come behind it.
All right. What else do we have here? We've got another donate ad. Okay, I don't mind this so much. It's got cheetahs and elephants on it. All right, so
It's in the eye and stuff.
aw. Oh, maybe they're trying to help you.
We're gonna cut this one the last because we're gonna cut this one the last, okay? Yeah.
She's got to know they're helping them.
No, it's like more.
okay. It's like a turtle. Yeah, well, when you're trying to clean a horse's hoof or something like that, do they always want to comply with you?
I'm gonna do what I can.
No.
I think there's two more there.
Nope. They'll try to kick you if they have been hurt at any one point in time. We had a guy that was kind of a bad farrier at one point in time, and he hurt the horses. And once I figured out what he was doing, he was exited quickly, and And then we had to pick up the pieces of somebody that thought it was funny to power up and hurt them. Yeah, that was a little hard for me to get past. Let me tell you what. I'm still angry over it. I mean, this has got to be the lowest of low life of people that hurt animals and children.
Okay, the way I see it, bro, that we're gonna cut everything we have. I think this is only this one on the mouth, okay? Okay. And then we will re-net her again and work from the bottom.
Aw, oh, she's really stuck. Dang.
Yeah, no, baby. Take the black tool and place it in underneath it. You good, Onion? Yeah.
Aw.
You don't want to get your fingers in there. There you go.
Nope. There you go. There you got it.
Okay.
See, now isn't this a worthwhile video?
We're trying to help you.
Now she can open her mouth. Now she's even more dangerous. That's why they waited.
Wait a second. There. Okay. I'm going to prepare it. Okay. You good on your own? Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Seal. Be thankful. Be grateful.
I think it's off. Go. Yes. I know you're tired.
Aw.
Well, she's not even running. No, she's just casually walking away.
She's probably exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, so it was not a piece.
They are.
Commercial fishing line. It was a huge piece of gill net. There's some everywhere, and there's a lot of microplastic as well. We're gonna have to pick up. But yeah, this gill net you can see is brand new. So someone is fishing.
So that was good. Good ending to that one. Good seal rescue.
Yeah.
So pretty fun. I like watching those videos. I like watching when they rescue animals that have been abused or neglected too. You ever watch those? I do.
Yeah.
I think it's infinitely better than watching most of the stuff that you see politically right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see how the Republican meeting. I think it's a Republican meeting today to remove Christina Caramo, who has abysmally failed in the Republican cult right now. But you know what's really funny is to watch how quickly people change their minds on something. You know, people keep testing me to see if I'm gonna abandon my friendship with General Flynn. The answer to that is no. And also, I don't abandon friends. And you know, I'll tell them if there's a problem. I will absolutely call them out for it. But I think that we've got some people here that are a little smarter than, say, the average politician in the state of Michigan, just like the rightful president of the United States, President Trump, and General Flynn, Admiral Rogers here. So a lot of people want to throw out headlines like the Mike Gill stuff.
Yeah, I've gotten a couple of inquiries lately involving his name. One was a video in which he had an interview, and the other one was a post that his name was on, but it was all about how Flynn is a double psyops working for the CIA, and some of the quote-unquote evidence or theory that they were putting out there didn't make any sense. You know, to me, I'm like, at least the person's thinking critically. I'll give them credit for that. But on the other hand, your theory falls apart when you're not seeing the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things they said was that Trump had to pardon Flynn in order to get the media to stop talking about Russia. And I'm laughing because I'm like, he is still talking about Russia. Trump was not ever stopping talking about Russia. He wasn't hiding that. So why would that fit into a theory that he was trying to shut up the media about Russia by pardoning Flynn? Sorry, your theory holds no water. It falls apart. But, you know, and these people are looking for answers, and I appreciate that. But in the other video where Mike Gill is doing a audio on a podcast interview, and I put it on fast speed and listened to about 20 minutes, and then I couldn't handle it anymore. So I told the person that sent it to me, I said, what you need to do is do it on fast speed for about 10 minutes and make a tally of how many times he says I and me. Because it was not about anybody else. It wasn't about Trump or whatever he was talking about. It was about him and him trying to make up his credential.
Exactly.
Sorry, but all the names that he's throwing out here are people that I learned a long time ago not to follow because they had nothing to offer me of any substance.
Right. And it's like, oh, I'm the new person on the block. I'm going to tell you the real story of what's going on. Yeah. You know, it's like, are you kidding me? General Flynn isn't a dumb guy. Okay. He's not a dumb guy. There's no coincidences on what people do out there. Right. And same thing with President Trump. And they are friends. They're talking. They're talking. And so, you know, you get behind the scenes and really look at what their character is. I mean, why would somebody, I mean, I remember that when the judge kept asking General Flynn if he was going to change his plea, and that judge just got set and he was like, no. You know, he was just absolutely, that's one of the greatest moments in American history that I will remember, is that absolute resolve, unwavering resolve to throw himself right out there and say, not changing.
Yeah.
Nope. Come and get me. He was literally defying them and challenging them to come and get him. And it's one of those things that every single one is, watch it over and over again. It's just like the fake inauguration. Watch that. But watch the absolute defiance that General Flynn has. And then, like you said, Mike Gill, I've listened to it a couple of times. And, I have to take this call. And I will just carry on. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, I like I said, I appreciate that people are trying to think critically, but they need to learn. And so that's why I said, well, here's one of the ways that I realized in watching this particular video that this is not somebody that I would trust. And I would question everything that he says. This is why, because he's talking about I and me all the time. And he had no substance or anything that he's bringing forward. And he was talking about Pandora Papers. Pandora Papers is not a secret. It's not like he's bringing forward something that nobody's ever heard of. I heard about it a few years ago, looked into it a little bit. Not a lot of people are talking about it, and maybe we will have more conversations about that in the future.
That, Karen?
Pandora Papers.
Oh.
It's not like Mike Gill is, nobody's ever heard about it, but I'm bringing it to you now. It's been public information. That it's like the Epstein list. A lot of that has been public. We know about it.
Well, and people want to claim it. It comes from somewhere. It's just that there's some of us that are willing to share this stuff. Did I generate it? No, I didn't. I did not generate this list. It's his list. We just report what we see, right?
And you're not trying to promote yourself or make a profit off of it. You're just sharing.
What do I have to gain here? That's my whole thing. I lost a lot of money in this run. And, what do I have to gain? I'm doing all this for free, right? Not like I'm merchandising anything. And I do think that that's one of the things that sets a true patriot apart. You don't do it for the money. Can I tell you a funny story?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm not going to throw a name out here. Not yet. But I will. Okay. I had a very interesting interaction this past week, and it was with somebody who is kind of like a super patriot. Got a tour of their little operation, and it's all Chinese knockoff stuff, all of it. And this is someone I had two people that I ran into, or that I met with, Super Patriot 1 and Super Patriot 2. People think and regard as a Super Patriot, right? And all of their stuff that they're selling is Chinese knockoffs. And
they're selling this. Oh, okay.
So then they were laughing about this. And I walked out of there going, what kind of hypocritical bullshit is this? Because they're using the name, they're using that patriot label to mislead people. And I'm going to say, watch the labels, people, because it's the labels that are taking you down every single time. It's just like, oh, this person's got the real, really? Go meet with them. Find out what you're looking at there. We don't know who we're talking to. We have no idea, but what I do know is to be able to watch the patterns that say General Flynn. General Flynn's got some really interesting patterns when you watch him. Pattern of defiance. And he's smart. He's not going to come in and announce, or, okay, people, I'm going to tell you exactly who the bad guys and the good guys are, and then you'll know. No. That's not how the game is played. Same thing with President Trump, the rightful president of the United States. He came out to expose corruption, and he's great at it. All you got to do is pay attention. He's not going to spoon feed you or tell you what's going on. Nobody out there that's worth their salt is going to do that. They're going to make you figure it out. And hopefully we all get smarter each step of the way. What happened with, say, Christina Carrano? All of the no's that are out there. He's trying to tell you what to look for. Same thing. You got to be smart enough to get out there and investigate for yourself a little bit and find out, why is it that somebody has a couple of years of their life missing? Tell me that. That is concerning. Why is their time missing in timelines? Why are there so many? This is not directed directly at Carrano. This is just, but maybe some of it. But why is it there's so many aliases out there? Why is it that a certain individual in Macomb County who is in charge of say, voting, as well as defending perhaps someone that should be questioned, why is it that there is a business entity registered to an address in, say, Oklahoma? I got all kinds of questions to ask. Mm-hmm. And why is it that there are addresses, if you look at the addresses and the related businesses, why do they come back to a name that everyone trusts in the state of Michigan? Because they're all involved in this. All of them are. And guess what? There's going to come a point in time that the real patriots that just kind of work behind the scenes and don't say anything, don't expect anything, and just want our damn country back are going to be able to net all of them. Because when they say they have it all, they have it all. President Trump and the good guys have all of it. They're just letting the bottom tiers and the middle tiers continue to poke their heads up like the idiots they are. Just wait. Be a little patient. And it's amazing. If we're a little bit patient, all of a sudden you see people for who they are. They might even call CPS on somebody. And then they might get online and then they might just continue to talk and make a fool out of themselves and admit to things. But you just got to be patient. Set the trap. Set the trap and let her roll.
Yep. What we said, how many times have we heard it? The words people say and their actions will show you who they are. And one of those sources had mentioned Lynn Wood while also picking on General Flynn. And I'm like, there's no comparison between the two. I was watching Lynn Wood, and he's talking about Jesus all the time, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, he's a good Christian man. And he's an attorney. Number one, attorneys are always questionable. Always. You have to always question them.
Questioning their license to practice law?
Well, that could be the where you...
Karen, I'm saying that tongue in cheek.
Well, yes. Number two, the man went on a stage in Georgia and told people not to vote. Not to vote until the machines were fixed. But when's that going to happen? He told the people not to vote. And I remember Sidney Powell was on the same stage.
She was laughing.
And her face, I was like, okay, I think the man is on his own on this one. And I'm going to watch everything else he does with a great big rock assault, not a grain. He just lost everything in my eyes, and he has never gained it back. No credibility.
You know what it reminded me of when Linwood was on stage for that? It reminded me of a carny going, step right up, come right up here to the stage here, and have little monkeys hanging off of sticks and crap like that. I'm like, this is like a carnival show.
Snake oil.
Yeah.
He's a snake oil salesman.
Yeah. Oh, which we can. This is the average politician. You want to see what the average politician looks like? I'll show you. This is great. We're gonna back out of the seal videos.
But you compare and contrast that to what Flynn is doing. Yep. And this person claimed that Flynn was making money. Like, where is he making money? Because he's traveling all over the country. He's got human trafficking seminars. He's got a book about 5G warfare. He's teaching people about how they can get involved locally to make a significant positive difference in their community up to the national level. How is that a guy who's consistently behaved in this way, even just in the last few years, if you're just watching that? How is that anti-American?
Yeah.
Has he ever told people not to vote? This is the average
politician, people. This is what I saw when he was telling everybody not to vote. This is what I thought of.
Money talks. First there's a dragon, now he tells me money talks.
So I can get the volume up here.
Yeah, video's pretty jumpy here too.
Dragons. Hey, this could be a very profitable business. There's so many cures from bits of dragon.
Can you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Dragon whiskers, dragon toes, a dragon tooth, and a dragon nose. Every little piece, we could make $1 million by slicing him, dicing him. Oh, we could sell every little shell. There's enough of him to go around. Money, money, money by the pound.
There you go, right there.
Every little piece. I can take a scissor and clip him up, rip him up. Every little part is a work of art. Think of what a dragon heart would bring, wrapped up in a ribbon and a string. Dragon liver can cure a cold. Dragon powder grows hair. With dragon blood you'll never grow old. Every item is covered with gold. Every item is covered with gold. Every little piece. Dragon, you're my wagon to destiny. You're the key. Every little shred moving me ahead. Every dream of mine will be fulfilled. What a dragon business we can build. Dragon cartilage keeps you thin. Dragon fat is for burns. A dragon tear will clear up your skin. Watch the profits come rolling in. Watch the profits come rolling. Every little piece, every little crease.
You know, it sounds a little bit like human trafficking, though. I'm sitting here thinking.
I'll bind him up, grind him up, lock him up, chop him up. Can't you hear that jingle, jangle sound? Oh yeah. It's money, money, money by the pound.
And there, my friends, is your politicians in the United States of America chopping up the United States right there, selling it off one piece at the time. And let's just go ahead and name them. We've got Pelosi, we've got Schumer, we've got Biden, fake Biden. We've got all of them that are sitting in the seats right now, money-grubbing bastards, treasonous, who have chopped this nation up for sale. There you go.
Dividing up the populace and making it smaller and easy to conquer.
Yep, there you go. Money grubbing despots should be on the first plane to Gitmo. You know, all of them.
So what they don't show is an audience there who's throwing tomatoes back at them, you know? Where's the audience that's going, hey, that doesn't sound right. I'm not going to buy that. Get out of here.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's only a few of them. There's more of us, but there you go. We just got to get them out of their seats of power and never let them come back. I think we should actually seize all on just gain. You want to talk about reparations? We need to do reparations for all of us. Take all that money back and distribute it amongst the population. Give all of the people who have illegally immigrated to this country a national deportation day, and try to write this entire thing. Not just the United States, the whole world is a mess because of these people. I mean, the whole world is a mess. Look at the EV crap that's going on in the child slave labor, and $60,000 for a battery. Come on, people, we're smarter than this. We're so much smarter than this. Unbelievable. I know my audience is. I don't need to say it to you guys. You guys, if you're here right now, it's because you stuck with me this long. You know what I'm going to say. So pretty predictable.
You know, you're always talking about toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
So it was interesting because like day before yesterday, I think, maybe it was Christmas Day, I shared some information about the Just Men, Arizona. Just for Men. I think that's a hair dye. Just Men Arizona organization, which is about catching human traffickers, prostitution rings, and so on. And yesterday, Tommy Robinson, because I was talking about how men need to step up, and this is one way that they can try to do that. And yesterday, Tommy Robinson shared a video in which allegedly it was an immigrant. You can't really see too much about the people involved, but a couple of guys are walking along the sidewalk and they're just being jerks. And a guy reaches out all of a sudden toward a woman's face and tries to scare her, like this. And he's just being a real jerk. And probably in that community, there are some people who are really serious criminals, and women are probably, that one.
This is the Karen video. Everybody go to Karen, the Riveter's channel on Telegram. She got a great channel. Guy walks up and down you go.
He's just an ordinary guy, and he even has a daughter, a little kid there to be concerned with. But he just takes a moment and disagrees. Hey, you're being a jerk. Don't treat women that way. That's it. That's all you had to do. And could he have ended up with a machete wielding at him? Yeah, maybe. But a couple of posts or so down from there, he had another one that I didn't share because it was full of foul language and some violence, and I try to avoid that stuff on my channel. Yeah, but Tommy Robinson had shared one where a guy had apparently been doing something against someone's child. I don't know if he was touching or speaking. It's Tommy Robinson's channel. And some people in the community witnessed it, and a man driving is the one filming, and he goes up and he's shouting out the window. He never gets out of his car. He's cussing the whole time, really nasty language. But this other man immediately grabbed the guy and beat him up a little bit, got him on the ground, and I think the man was pretending that he was worse off than he was, just so they would leave him alone. And at the end of the video, a woman comes up and she's also giving him a hard time. What I like about it is that the community is aware and disagreeing. What I can't say I support is violence, because finally at the end of the video, they're saying call the police. What they could have done, tackled him, restrained him, and called the police, and they didn't have to commit any kind of violence themselves, because I'm never going to support that, generally speaking. But the men are saying, hey, don't touch our kids, don't mistreat our women. And it's about time we see that happening. And I think our men have been like, we're so, what's the word I'm looking, desensitized to violence towards other people, toward lackadaisical attitudes, that they just see weird stuff happening and they're like, well, that's weird. And they just keep on walking. The man with the little girl said, I'm not just going to keep on walking. I'm going to do something about it. I'm right here anyway. It was not a thing to him to just reach, give the guy a little nudge in the right direction. And the Just Men Arizona is an organization that is more active. They're saying, hey, let's reach out to the men in our community.
What
Some of them
my
need
husband will
education.
say is that men have been so beat on over the years to be quiet and not step forward, and that's not what we're supposed to be. And that's why I always say, bring on the toxic masculinity, guys. Donna Brandenburg, are giving you permission to actually defend your family and be the guys that God created you to be, the protectors and the defenders.
Yeah,
you bet.
If they were doing that, we wouldn't have all the women upset in the world. Because who's showing up at the school board meetings? Women. Who are showing up at county and the township board meetings? Who's showing up to the party meetings? A lot of women.
A lot of women. That's okay.
And I would say too that for a very long time, men have been pretty much explicitly told that our voices don't matter. That, it's all just the evil patriarchy if you have any kind of an opinion. And that tends to get portrayed in, everywhere pretty much in our culture. And so, you have decades and decades of that. Well, you're going to eventually sink in that men need to be quiet just to be in society at all,
Well, and I think that you look at it at the core issue, it's always a power struggle. For people trying to be in charge. What happens if we decide we let God be in charge, take whatever the good and the bad that comes at us and turn it into something good, and not try to demonize necessarily a segment? I mean, you got to look at things for what they are. All right. But an honest evaluation of true behavior, not necessarily. I mean, you got a cult out there that's chopping up kids, which we have. You can absolutely make a good determination of what's going on there. People that participate in that kind of stuff. But when you start putting people down for their opinions, we have to have people we disagree with, and we need to respect people we disagree with and listen to what they have to say. We're not chosen to be here to just create these little echo chambers of everyone we agree with. I think that's kind of missing the point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Free speech is, a right to be able to speak your mind, but it's also, along with that comes a duty to listen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yep. I agree with that 100%. And do it respect, I mean, you see somebody that's, you see a threat out there. There's so much nonsense going on. I'm reading down Tommy Robinson's channel right now, and the amount of violence in the streets, just stay home. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Oh, I wanted to show you another thing that I don't know if I posted this yet or not. I think I did. Let me see if I didn't. I had a picture. Let me see if I can put this up here, because I find this to be almost laughable. I do have to return a call here. Kind of an important call too. Let's see, where did I put it? I save all this information off in a million different directions. Check this out. I find this to be very unusual, an unusual picture.
Yeah, I do tend to think, though, that with the minimization of male voices in society, it really has come down to where it's absolutely critical for women to speak up. You know, like you guys, your voices are much stronger and more likely to be heard, and that it's really critical for more women too to stand up and kind of speak their minds on a lot of this. And that's why I think it's been so effective for moms at school board meetings to actually change things, because, well, it's pretty hard to stand up against that and say that their voices are invalid, that they shouldn't be heard, you know. And it makes it all the more important for women to stand up for what they believe in too.
The most effective I ever heard, I think, was a school board meeting where a little girl, about maybe 7 years old, I don't know, she was really tiny, she spoke up to say she didn't want to wear a mask, and she had everybody like ooh, ah, in tears. And her father put her behind him and pointed his finger at the board and shouted at them, rightly so. And she held on to him. He wrapped one arm gently around her while he told them off. And behind him at the microphone went his mother. So you had 3 generations there. His mother said, I homeschooled my son. And I was like, yes, this is what you get. You have 3 generations who are willing to all say, this is not right. And it didn't matter their gender so much, but it was the role they played in their family. Everybody together said, this is not okay. The kids can be really, really powerful voices. And the women, I hear women are just kind of, they can, an echo chamber is a good way to put it. There's so many women there that when they all say the same thing, the board just sits there like, yeah. But you put a guy in the middle of it. And there's been some guys that were not expecting to be there, found out about it at the last minute, didn't know what was going on, didn't have anything planned to say, but what they said was so effective because of that. Then when they said, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't like this, and you all should know better. Those few men's voices became more effective because they were fresh in a crowd of women who were kind of saying the same thing. So never discount anybody for any reason. Free speech is there for a reason.
Right. Okay, so I put a video or a picture up here of the Trump family, President Trump, the rightful president of the United States. And I want to ask you what is off about this picture, because as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, nope, something's wrong. And I'll tell you what I see that's absolutely wrong. It's the height of the people there. President Trump is about 6'3", 6'4", right? And Barron is 6'7". Okay, I can kind of buy that. But look at Ivanka is as tall as President Trump, and okay, even if she has 5-inch heels on, same thing with Tiffany. Tiffany's really small, but look at the proportions of the people there. This is the proportions are off, and so I'm questioning this photo in a large way. And the other thing that jumps off the page is, where's Melania?
She's taking the picture, Donna.
Oh, is that what it is? I'm sure she's taking the picture. Where is Melania in this picture? I want to know. She's my girl. I like Melania. Where is she? I like
this guy on the right not touching anybody, not even close, and the woman next to him. That was the first thing that stood out to me, was those two people are proportionally not quite right, and they're kind of.
Tiffany's small. That guy's got to be like really small, like, and he's like smaller than the kids that are sitting there. You know, it's like there's something really off about this picture, and so I'm kind of like, nice try. Fail. Big fail.
He looks like the thumbs up Trump.
Yeah, that's a thumbs up Trump. who knows? Could be a cardboard cutout at this point in time. I don't know. Not buying. There's something off about this picture. I'm going to study a little more because I didn't study it real long. It just jumped out at me going, yeah, well, yeah, whatever, you know.
Well, again, let's look at it from, okay, so we can see that things aren't right in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be the intention of that? That's where I always go. What purpose does it serve to put out a picture that is false in some way?
Or that makes you ask so many questions. Where's Melania? Find Melania. She's missing, people. There's something wrong.
And I don't worry about the Trump stuff because, like, there was another video that came out the other day, supposedly of him. I think it's the digital Trump. I give him nicknames. It doesn't bother me. I recognize that there are several Trumps, like there are multiple Bidens and Hillarys and whatever.
I picked out at least 7.
Really? Okay. I've got a number of them. And there's a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm not really sure that I can recognize the real Trump anymore because I don't know how far back the real Trump is versus the fake Trumps. And I got that way with Biden. Like, I never paid attention to Biden. So I had to, I think I've shared with you some stuff and I'm like, I think this is the real one. And you're like, no.
Mr.
So I don't
Silicone
even
Man
know
Biden.
what exactly the real Trump or the real Biden looks like.
Yeah, just so you know, if there's like an almost 80-year-old man that falls up the stairs going onto a plane and leaps up like a gazelle in the Serengeti, ain't him. Not possible. How many how many people that old leap up like a gazelle on the Serengeti? Pretty much extra sure I can tell you I know none. Okay? So personally, but that's just me.
I saw a little bit of Dick Van Dyke had a show Disney put out a couple of times actually, because he's like 98 years old now. He finally looks kind of like the guy from Mary Poppins, the banker that was old time.
Oh yeah.
And he's still apparently pretty spry. But anyway, during that show, they had tons of celebrities, so it was kind of interesting to see, is that the real celebrity? Is that a fake celebrity? Are they really there? What are they talking about? What are they saying? And Jim Carrey was on there. And a lot of people think that Jim Carrey has possibly been a Biden with a mask on or something. And I'm not buying it, but he was there and he was very strange and he looked, older than we've seen him in a while.
All of it is strange. And
it's just, I don't know anymore. I don't know. It's all a show. I can't tell the difference. And I find it a curiosity more than do I spend my time looking at it and who's wearing a boot and who's in Gitmo. That can be a little entertaining.
I'm so done with the dates. Anybody throws a date out to me, I'm like, you just entered the idiot zone for Donna Brandenburg. It's like, that's the idiot zone. Dates, just stop it.
Well, that's the tricky part. Let's go there. Because like Trump's cases, for example, there's always a date about some kind of deadline or some kind of where there's going to be a hearing or whatever. And when is it going to fall with relation to the primary and so on. Right. And so that gets people planning and thinking about certain things happening. They think on the timeline. And like you and I, we question whether there's going to be an election at all. So everything we hear about an election goes through that questionable filter. It is not assumed there will be an election day.
Right. Well,
it is not assumed.
I hate
nothing is assumed.
Nothing's assumed. Assume nothing. Be prepared for anything. Be adapt and adjust and adapt. That's the name of the game right there. And pretend
Trust
life is like a roller coaster and put your hands in the air. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see where this thing is going to go. God's in charge. We don't know where it's going to go, and that's okay. So let's say a prayer here, guys. I really expected to be on for a half hour today. I had my motivational officer, Ralph, needled me this morning. You need to get on. Okay, I'm here. So anyhow, it's always fun with you guys. Anyhow, so let's say a prayer and then we're going to move on to our day. Okay, and we'll see. Maybe we'll come back tomorrow. Who's up for that?
I could be.
Mr. Yest on Thursday to continue, but let's just do a half hour or an hour or something like that. Anyhow, dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for Karen and Bill and Ralph and all the people out there that are fighting for this nation. We ask for your protection for General Flynn, for Admiral Rogers, for the rightful president of the United States, President Donald J. Trump and his family. We pray for Melania, who is missing from the photograph, and we don't know why. We ask you to continue to bless this nation and help us to get off other sides. You know, like we need to get in the middle and get on your team, not somebody else's team, but your team, which is the fight between good and evil, and to just burn the evil out of this place, because you know what? It's got to be gone. We'll never have peace if you are not the reigning king here on earth. And we pray for your kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. Thank you so much for all the many blessings that we enjoy. We enjoyed the holiday season, time to get together and hopefully have our focus on you, the birth of your precious son, Jesus Christ, our Savior. And we're so thankful for all that you've done for us. Help us to be like you. Help us not to use excuses. Help us not to lie, cheat, or steal, but to do the right thing, to do what you would do in all situations. And we just want to say we love you so much. You've been a great friend to us, and we want to be a great friend to you. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. So with that said, heart hands, because I'm the only one with hands here. Thank you very much. Here, go to BrandenburgForGovernor.com. I'm still not conceding the fake, rigged, stolen election of 2022. And we got to write 2022 and 2020. Going to do it. Not asking for permission. You need to right the crimes there. Anyhow, God bless you. God bless you all and all those whom you love. And God bless America. Make it a great day. If you don't have an example, be one. So we'll talk to you tomorrow, because I think my motivational team is going to get behind me and say, you need to do this tomorrow, Donna. So we'll see you tomorrow.